Hi, my name is Henry Nyakarundi, Managing Director of ARED. I'm mostly in charge of our expansion plan. First, I want to thank you for visiting this particular page. So we developed a partnership model. And if you're on the website right now, you're either interested on our partnership model or you're interested to get more information about it. But before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about what ARED does. So we developed a smart platform to distribute key digital services, including phone charging, using our smart solar kiosks, but also our mobile application technology. So some of the services we focus on are airtime, mobile money, offline, online connectivity, digital content distribution, but also data collection, and much more. And some of the areas we focus on are the rural areas, semi-urban areas, but also refugee camps. But another thing we added, we developed a micro-franchise business model where we recruit, train, and monitor mostly women and people with disability to operate those kiosks and generate revenue from those kiosks.
At ARED, we're interested in finding partners so we can better expand in the new market. We believe that working with local partnership, it's much more efficient than trying to build this whole ecosystem ourselves. The first thing we're looking for is a certain profile of the particular candidates. So we developed a profile for the right candidate. The candidate has to have a business that is 3 years and older. The candidate has to be very interested in having a social impact on the ground. Also, the candidate has to have a strong network on the ground. We work a lot with NGOs. We also need licenses from the government. We work a lot with telecom companies. It's always easier to have a candidate that already has a strong network with those different entities. We put in place two models of partnership. One we call licensing, the other one we call franchising. Why is that? Well, it's very simple. We realize that some partners already have some type of distribution channels on the ground and just want to use our technology and business model to be added on their value chain, but want to keep their own brand. That's the licensing part. If you want to franchise, basically you'll be using ARED brand called Shariki Hub and Mobile Shariki, which is the two brands that define what we do on the ground. On the page, we added a revenue simulator just to give you an idea of what the revenue potential can be. Of course, we don't guarantee revenue. This is a business. So like any business, revenue depends on your hard work, how many partners you built in on that platform. But if you look carefully, those are services that you can potentially add on this particular platform. The key is very simple. The more services you add, the more revenue you can generate. The key is to generate at least minimum $200 net per kiosk per month. The recruitment process is very simple. First, we put in place a certain profile of the candidate we're looking for. The candidate has to have a business that is at least 3 years and older, has to have a strong network on the ground. We realize that because we work a lot with government agencies, with NGOs, also with the telecom industry, it's much easier to find a candidate that has a strong network when things can move much faster. Also, we're looking for candidates that are socially inclined and want to have a social impact on the ground. The second step is you have to submit a market research. Well, the market research gives us an idea if your market is ready for this type of technology. And there's a whole list of questions we put together for you to answer. The last thing is you have to fill up the application and submit a business proposal. We want to make sure that you understand what it takes to build this business. And so we can start this conversation of what needs to be done or what needs to be shifted on your business proposal. So let's assume we came to an agreement and we signed the contract. Well, this is where the real work starts. The first step is training. We have a 7-day training program where we teach you about our software system, how the kiosk work, how to connect with different partners, how to maximize revenue, and on and on and on. This training is key for you to better understand and get into more detail about the business. You need to come up where you're going to assemble the kiosk. There's 135 different components to this kiosk. Then you need to get licensing from the government. A lot of countries now require licensing to run a Wi-Fi network or to distribute services in a digital platform. The second thing is now we need to decide how many kiosks you will need to start the pilot. Usually a pilot starts between 5 and 20 kiosks. The pilot is key, so all the different issues and problems that you may occur will be addressed during the pilot. Then you need to connect the application with the different services that exist in your country, whether it's government services, airtime, mobile money, and so on. Also, you're going to need to find a data partner. We buy data in bulk to redistribute via Wi-Fi to the customer. And for that, you need a telecom partner or some type of partner that offer wireless technology for the data. Also, you'll need to find partners among NGOs, for example, that can help you train the kiosk operator. You're going to need to find clients that want to distribute digital content. The more partner you have on the ground, the less operating costs you will need. Basically, it'll take you 6 months to a year to put that ecosystem in place, unless, of course, you're very special. Then we give you exclusive territory for you to operate and start expanding. It will allow us to evaluate you and see how you're performing. And finally, we'll have to have a final agreement on our revenue stream model or revenue sharing model between ARED and your company. Finally, we developed an audit program. We put in place some key criteria to follow when working with ARED. When you do a business that empower people and bring key services to low-income people, we need to make sure that we minimize or eliminate any potential abuse that may happen on the ground. So we decide to monitor our partners. For example, there is no extra fee to be charged beyond the fee we already agreed upon for the kiosk operator. We want to make sure that our partner pay their due taxes, and so on and so forth. Again, if you have any question, check our FAQ. If your question is not answered there, then please don't hesitate to send us an email at partnership@ared.com. The email will be written below. I'll be more than happy to assist you. Who knows? You might be our next partner.